I'm going to tell you a story you've never heard before because no one knows this story the way I know it. It takes place the night of June 12, 1994, and it concerns the murders of my ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her young friend, Ronald Goldman. Forget everything you think you know about that night because I know the facts better than anyone. The story you know or think you know, that's not the story, not even close. This is one story the whole world got wrong.
Hey guys, what's up? Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Kate, back at it again, you know. Today we're doing OJ. This is my sister, Maddie, and she is going to be in today's true crime video about the lost confession of OJ Simpson. I kind of wish we were doing... Oh, first of all, I would like to apologize to everyone watching. I am very fidgety and I cannot focus at all. If you can't tell by now, I'm literally playing it in a drawer full of makeup that she has over here with magnets. Anyway. So if you hear things, I feel like this should go at the beginning of the video. But like if you hear things, or like you see me messing around with stuff and like smelling stuff and taking caps off and I don't even know. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry if that bothers you. I'm really trying to focus, but I'm not good at focusing at all. So, here we are. I kind of wish we were doing something more interesting. Honestly, OJ's like, he's kind of boring. Bro, no he's not. This was a trial of the century. I don't care. I don't know, it was boring. It's just because he was famous. Honestly, it's not that interesting. Let's get into it. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know what happened, which, I mean, like, if you don't, but we're gonna put a timestamp right about here, wherever I end up deciding to put it. If you just want to hear about the lost confession, you can skip to that part, but we're gonna go over the crime and the trial first. So, alright. Silence your phone at least. Okay, it's on silent. It just vibrated. Well, it's not on do not disturb, there's a difference. Continue. So Nicole Brown and OJ Simpson were married on February 2nd, 1985. OJ Simpson was a pro NFL player and he had been retired for 5 years prior to marrying Nicole. They had 2 children, Sydney and Justin. Wait, together. They had kids? Yeah. 2. They're right. Oh, I took the picture down. It wasn't staying. Round of applause, everyone. So they had 2 kids. So they were married for 7 years total. And during this time, police were called multiple times in relation to OJ beating Nicole. How are you just gonna stay? She wasn't even with him for the whole time, though. Okay, here's the thing. If you even raise your voice at me, I'm not gonna have it. He wasn't even playing football anymore. I mean, I know he was like still rich and everything, but like, if you're already up there, you know, and like you're with a football player, I bet you could get with another famous person. I don't know. In 1989, he pled no contest to spousal abuse in court. He was sentenced to like community service. There were some pretty awful pictures, which I will put up on the screen here. Trigger warning if you don't want to see that. It's gonna be right here. And there are pictures of Nicole after she had been beaten that her sister took of her. How are you gonna be a sister and just let that happen? If something happened to you, I would beat the crap out of whoever did that. They would be hurt. Watch out, Evan. They would be hurt. I'm not gonna that. And
On February 25th, 1992, Nicole filed for divorce. In this, she cited irreconcilable differences. And the abuse still raged on, however. The last time that she called the police was on October 25th, 1993. She had called the police 8 times prior to her murder about OJ beating her.
And did they just not do anything?
They actually partied with OJ, like, at his house. Like, the LA... But it's important to note, and a reason a lot of people think that OJ got away with this is because there was a lot of racial tension at the time. The LAPD was really, really corrupt. They had just brutally beaten Rodney King. So that was a big, big thing at the time, and a big influence on how the outcome of this trial came to be. And Nicole said, quote, on her last 911 phone call to the police, that Simpson was, quote unquote, going to beat the shit out of me.
I just can't.
Let's move on to the murders.
Alright, murders? As in plural?
You didn't know that?
I thought all he did was kill Nicole. How many people did he kill?
Let's get into it.
Jesus.
At 12:10 a.m. on June 13th, 1994, Nicole's dog alerted passersby to her body and the body of Ron Goldman, her friend, which... Was it her friend? I don't know.
Do you know what you're talking about?
Like...
Because if you don't tell me actual facts...
Like, okay...
If you don't tell the people
No,
actual facts that you know for Kaitlyn...
No, okay, so, like, it was her friend. Like, they always say, like, her friend. But, like, if OJ were to do something like this, like, he always would beat her after he got really jealous about something. So, like, were they friends? Or... Because, like, it was confirmed that she had, like, boyfriends after she got divorced. So, like, was it a friend? Was it a boyfriend? That's my
Either
question.
way, you shouldn't have killed him.
Well, obviously not. I'm just looking for motive, okay? Like, they were discovered about 2 hours after they had been killed.
He looked so goony.
About 2 hours after they had been killed, Nicole had been nearly decapitated, which shows that this was a rage kill.
How
It was
do you
overkill.
nearly decapitate someone?
He
with a
slit-
full...
He kept going with the knife.
God damn.
Don't cuss on my channel.
You've already cussed.
No, I didn't. I was quoting. A bloody glove was found at the scene of the murders, and then later when they were going to OJ's property, they found the other glove. Not only that, but they found blood on his white Chevy Bronco. And OJ was gone. They went to go question him. They basically broke into his house, but like it was because they saw blood and they thought that maybe he was hurt too. So they like kind of broke in, but like he wasn't there. He took a flight out really, really late the night before. And then they were ready to arrest OJ, but then his lawyers actually convinced the LAPD to allow OJ to turn himself in on June 17th, 1994.
He turned himself in?
They were going to allow him to, however, he never showed up. There ended up being a low-speed chase of OJ's Bronco that was driven by one of his best friends, Al Callings. And Al would not stop the vehicle because OJ had a gun to his head. So there was this low-speed chase for hours upon hours. It captivated the nation. They were interrupting like basketball games, and all that stuff, like
So bad. I'm sorry.
like championships and stuff like that to broadcast this chase. Eventually, they went back to OJ's house, and he was arrested. He also left, like, what they said was a suicide note that Rob Kardashian read to the public, and he basically was like, you know, I have nothing to do with Nicole's murder and all that type of stuff. He was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and shortly after, the trial of the century began.
So, okay. Why do they call it the trial of the century?
Because everybody was watching.
Okay.
Everybody. So I'm gonna read this. The reaction was actually President Bill Clinton briefed on security measures if rioting occurred nationwide due to the verdict. An estimated 100 million people worldwide watched or listened to the verdict announcement. Long-distance telephone call volume declined by 58%, and trading volume on the New York Stock Exchange decreased by 41%. Water usage decreased as people avoided using bathrooms. So much work stopped that the verdict cost an estimated $480 million in lost productivity.
Why?
So, this was the trial of the century.
It's like just not interesting.
I mean, like, it's kind of like Casey Anthony for us, Maddie.
I don't know. Casey Anthony was like, I don't even know. I have no words. I'm putting my
That's a first.
I know. Usually I talk a lot.
So
I'm
he
quiet.
had this dream team.
That's staying down there. That's the last time it. No, it's not going back up.
Okay. Through his dream team of lawyers, OJ was basically able to get away with this. And as I said before, part of it was credited towards the racial tension at the time. There were a large percentage of black jurors. So it kind of fed into that just a little bit. It is important to note that now, currently, a large percent of the black population actually do believe that he is guilty. Actually, some jurors came forward and said, yeah, he probably committed the murders, but we didn't convict him because the prosecution didn't provide enough evidence, which, I mean, there was a considerable amount of DNA evidence, in my opinion, found on the glove at his house, but the police officer who found the glove was discredited because it was revealed that he made racist remarks in the past. So he was pretty much completely discredited.
Nice.
However, he was found guilty of the crimes in a civil suit. So
What does that mean?
a civil suit. So basically, the Goldmans and some of Nicole's family sued OJ for the wrongful death of their loved ones. He had to pay them $33.5 million, and he is seen as responsible for the deaths, just not criminally responsible.
Wait. How? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. What?
He was found responsible for the murders in a civil suit against them, and he has only paid them a fraction of that money so
He's
far.
probably broke now.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So that brings us to The Lost Confession. In 2006, a book was written titled If I Did It, a hypothetical account of what may have taken place according to O.J. Simpson.
Okay, he's really just out here pushing the boundaries.
Well, he can't be tried again. Double jeopardy.
Yeah. He's
So-
just out.
This was released in 2006, and it caused a lot of outrage, obviously. So the Goldman family, Ronald Goldman's family, took it to court and got it to where basically the "if" is like in super, super tiny font inside the "I." So it says "I did it," and you have to look really closely to see the "if." And then it says "Confessions of the Killer" after that. And they also receive the profits of this book. So originally OJ kind of agreed to do this because he would be getting the profits, but the Goldman family fought that, and they get the profits
So the
from the book.
Goldman family is the one of the friend who died?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm fidgety.
And so this was released, and then there was an interview conducted by the publishing agency with OJ. This tape was never broadcast because 10 years ago it was seen to be tasteless, so they wouldn't air it. However, I think about a week ago, Fox decided to air it. So they aired the interview, which is pretty much a confession. He goes, "Well, I grabbed the knife, but this is hypothetical."
What? Wait.
Question. And you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is
Purely
hypothetical.
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 Yes.
Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. They're going to, whatever they want to feel. In the book, the hypothetical is
Charlie pulls that up.
Charlie. This guy Charlie shows up, the guy who I had recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and I'm kind of broad stroking this. We go over, get into Bronco and go over.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
This is the detail.
You park
In the hypothetical, in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on a cap and gloves.
Right.
Yeah.
And you reached under the seat for?
A knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie saying, "You ain't bringing that." And I didn't, right? But I believe he took it.
Charlie took the knife?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the back gate, you go through the back gate,
Yes.
and it was open or broken or?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on. And I can see that it appears like Nicole had candles all the time. She really did, to keep her overhead down, I think. And music was on, and while I was there, a guy shows up.
So Ron Goldman comes in the back gate.
Yeah, a guy that I really didn't recognize. I may have seen him around, but I really didn't recognize him to be anyone. And in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
He says to you, "I just came by to return a pair of glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant."
Yeah, words to that effect, yes.
And
he
was
I
on-
don't know if I believed it or didn't believe it. It was pretty much immaterial because, I was more concerned about everything that was going on, and was fed up with it, I guess. And
you get into a fight. Nicole comes out.
a
And
verbal
fight.
Got a little loud, and by that time, Nicole had come out, and we started having words about who is this guy, why is he here, what's going on.
And she says, "This is my house. Get the F out of here."
Yes, and which I didn't like because, once again, this is the same person. And if you read the book, you'll see some things that happened in the 2 weeks leading up to this that were very, very irritating, you know. And I think Charlie had followed this guy in, wanted to make sure it was no problem, and he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, well, you think you can kick my ass? And I remember I grabbed a knife. I do remember that portion, taking a knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember, except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
What kind of stuff?
blood and stuff around. You know, I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical.
Let me just say, I watched all of this, and the only part of it where he seemed to be genuine was when he was talking about killing them.
I mean, he's literally doing the most. He's saying everything, but I did it.
Pretty much, he's saying if I did it, which is pretty much.
Bro,
So
these won't go back in. Stupid. What?
stop.
Really? You will?
I will.
You making a true crime about my murder and crying about it. It's on tape. She threatened me.
So, when this aired, they had a new panel of people. So they had basically like a new interviewer and then the old interviewer that originally interviewed OJ. They had one of Nicole Brown's best friends, not Kris Jenner. And they had one of the prosecutors from...
Bro, what do the Kardashians think about that? Do they think he was guilty?
Yeah, Kris does. Yeah.
Lit.
Yeah. It was kind of like a really bad situation because like Kris like sided with like that he was guilty and like Robert obviously like didn't, and it was not good.
Well, Robert knew he was guilty. He was just his lawyer. He could never say that.
I mean, they were best friends though. That's the reason. He wasn't like that type of lawyer, but he did it because it was like one of his best friends.
Oh.
Yeah. True story. But this aired, and they also brought in some like specialists, like they brought a former FBI profiler and someone who was an expert on domestic violence so that they could kind of analyze, because first he talked about what led up to the murders and then he talked about the murders. So they brought in someone who specialized in domestic violence for that part so that they could analyze like what he was saying in that part, and then they brought in a former FBI profiler for him talking about the murder. He brought up this person named Charlie, and Charlie was there, but to everyone's knowledge, there was no Charlie. Some people think it was an alter ego or him just trying to displace himself out of it, whatnot.
I feel like we don't even have enough. I feel like we have so much information on this case, and yet nothing on this case.
That's a good insight. That's a good insight.
I know.
Something pretty interesting that OJ said in this lost confession was he said that whoever murdered Nicole and Ron killed him too.
How are you just gonna insert yourself into the death of someone else and like try to make you feel like the victim? How are you?
It's the only thing he has at this point. I mean, he was in jail for, I think, armed robbery and kidnapping because he was trying to steal back his, or is it armed robbery and theft? I don't know.
Honey, get your facts straight.
But he was in jail for like, he was sentenced to like 33 years, but he actually just got out. They let him out because because they couldn't obviously let what happened back in 1994 affect.
Look what you did. You knocked off the pedals.
Affect him currently. So he is currently a free man. I think he's probably broke, but he's free. And a lot of people see this as a mistake. Everyone that was on the panel during the Lost Confession were 100% convinced that he was the murderer. And so am I, quite frankly. Even, you know, especially the FBI profiler thinking that. I mean, that pretty much tells you right there. They know what they're talking about.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Alright guys, we're gonna film another video of me actually reacting to something interesting, such as crazy conspiracy theories. This is my idea. Don't have me react. I was literally just sitting back here the whole time, like, playing in your drawer of makeup.
That's because you have no attention span.
That's why you have to give me interesting stuff to react to.
So we're gonna do a conspiracy theory video. Should I post it tonight too? Or should I post it a different day?
I think you should post the conspiracy theory one first.
I post true crime first.
No. Post the conspiracy theory one first.
So we're gonna debate that.
I'm gonna win the debate. Alright guys, so it was nice meeting you. I'm Maddie. Go follow me on Instagram, maddie.thomason. Add me on Snapchat, also maddie.thomason. Super easy. I'm gonna make her put it like right here.
I'm gonna lose subscribers because of you.
They're gonna lose brain cells because of you. Alright guys, so this has been my channel featuring my sister.
No. Okay, you guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video on O.J. Simpson's Lost Confession. Stay tuned for our conspiracy theory video that we're gonna do together, I guess.
It's gonna be wild.
I'm Kate. This is Maddie.
I'm the better sister. And that's all, folks.